muggy morning of July 5th, 2017, in a sun-soaked Bangkok villa laced with secrets and opulence, a man known only as Alpha Zo 2, millionaire playboy, tech genius, and the most powerful dark web drug lord on Earth, sits in front of his glowing laptop, completely unaware that his empire is seconds from collapsing. Just outside, a Toyota Camry smashes into his front gate. A seemingly random accident, but it's the first move in a global chess game years in the making. As Alpha Zo 2, real name Alexandra Kazis, rushes outside, barefoot and distracted, Thai police, backed by FBI and DEA agents from 7 countries, pounce. What follows is a digital manhunt like no other, ignited years earlier by an anonymous tip about an old welcome email linked to a juvenile Hotmail address. Pimp Mom Alex was 91. From that sliver of data, agents trace back through obscure French forums, old dating sites, and social media profiles to pinpoint the young Canadian hacker turned kingpin. Once a teenager tinkering with viruses in Quebec, now the mastermind behind Alpha Bay, a dark web marketplace so massive it made over $500,000 a day in sales, trafficking everything from drugs and weapons to malware and counterfeit cash. With an Amazon-like interface, encrypted payment systems, and a team that included D-Snake and other moderators, Alpha Bay became a fortress of digital crime, evading law enforcement while amassing a cult-like user base of over 200,000. But while Kazis cruised around Bangkok in a Lamborghini, flaunting his wealth and juggling a wife and multiple affairs, law enforcement traced his every move, eventually locating his houses, cars, crypto wallets, and cloud-stored secrets. They called it Operation Bayonet, a takedown plan more intricate than any Hollywood thriller. And in a twist of cosmic irony, Kazis unknowingly walked into a 5-star hotel lobby and sat mere feet from the very agents planning his capture. But the final blow came when that Toyota accident lured him outside, leaving his devices unlocked. Agents stormed in, seized his laptop, still logged into Alpha Bay's backend, and found millions in crypto and keys to the kingdom. 1 week later, in a Bangkok jail cell, the digital emperor was dead, an alleged suicide by hanging. But Alpha Bay's silent shutdown triggered a massive migration of panicked users to Hansa Market, unaware that it too had been hijacked by law enforcement, setting up a mass sting that would go down in cybercrime history. The king was gone, but the war for the dark web throne was just beginning. As the ashes of Alpha Bay settle and the dark web descends into chaos, thousands of dealers and buyers, paranoid, desperate, and seeking their next digital refuge, flood into what appears to be the safest harbor left standing, the Hansa Market. But what none of them know is that they've just walked into the most brilliant cyber sting in internet history. Unbeknownst to the dark web community, Dutch investigators had already seized Hansa's servers and arrested its German operators in complete silence. They weren't shutting the site down, no, they were operating it. Every message sent, every order placed, every Bitcoin transferred was now being monitored, logged, and traced in real time. For nearly a month, the entire global underground economy operated in a law enforcement-controlled honeypot. Investigators watched as criminals uploaded their shipping addresses, bragged about their products, fought over disputes, and exposed themselves with every careless keystroke. Meanwhile, Europol and authorities from 7 countries began building thousands of airtight cases with rock-solid evidence, all while the users believed they had escaped Alpha Bay's mysterious silence. And that silence was strategic. The FBI held back the news of Alpha Bay's takedown to funnel traffic toward the now compromised Hansa. Operation Bayonet wasn't just a raid, it was psychological warfare, a trap set in the shadows of the darknet, baited with digital gold and sealed with military precision. While the world still debated whether Alpha Bay had exit scammed its users, and conspiracy theories flew across Reddit, Telegram, and encrypted forums, Kaz's encrypted servers were being cracked open, revealing more than just his empire's backend. They found his Bitcoin wallets, records of payments to developers, logs of DSnake's communications, and even drafts of a possible escape plan to Cyprus. On July 20th, 2017, the curtain dropped. The U.S. Department of Justice revealed everything in a globally televised press conference. Alpha Bay was gone. Hansa was under full surveillance. Hundreds of arrests were already underway. The dark web, for a brief moment, trembled. But as history shows, fear doesn't last long online. Within weeks, copycat markets started to emerge, and the next generation of kingpins started laying the foundation of what would become the new underworld empires. In the shadows, the legend of Alpha's O2 began to mutate, from a cautionary tale to a martyr myth. But one figure refused to let go of the crown. DSnake, Alpha Bay's enigmatic second-in-command, who had survived the fall, stayed off the radar and was quietly preparing for something no one saw coming, the resurrection of Alpha Bay itself. 4 years after the collapse of the world's most powerful dark web empire and the mysterious death of its kingpin, the unthinkable happens. Alpha Bay comes back online. But this isn't a tribute or a clone. It's the real thing, resurrected from the digital grave by the one man who had vanished without a trace, DSnake. The ghost of the darknet returns with a vengeance, now rebuilt on even stronger encryption, fortified against takedowns, and redesigned for a new era of cybercrime. No one knows where he's operating from, how he escaped the global dragnet, or what he's planning next. But his message is clear: the dark web never died. It evolved. The new Alpha Bay is more anonymous, more secure, and more decentralized than ever before. It ditches Bitcoin in favor of Monero, the ultra-private cryptocurrency nearly impossible to trace. It deploys mirrors, private invite codes, custom obfuscation tools, and military-grade privacy features that make tracking its users feel like chasing shadows in a black hole. And DSnake isn't just reviving a brand, he's launching a revolution. He claims Alpha Bay was never about money. It was about proving a point that no matter how many times the system cracks down, someone will always find a way to rebuild it stronger, smarter, and scarier. Meanwhile, law enforcement is scrambling again. Hydra, the massive Russian dark web market that grew to twice Alpha Bay's size, was recently crushed in a joint US-German operation, but that only created another power vacuum. Investigators know DSnake is back, but they don't know where or how to hit him. And this time, he's not making the same mistakes Alpha 02 did. No personal email slips, no digital fingerprints, no careless social media posts. Just pure, calculated digital warfare. As DSnake openly mocks authorities in encrypted messages and interviews with darknet journalists, global agencies are back on the hunt. But this time, they're chasing a ghost who learned from history, who has nothing left to lose, and who may already be 10 steps ahead. Alpha Bay 2.0 isn't just a dark web marketplace. It's a statement, a challenge, a middle finger to every badge, surveillance team, and data analyst who thought the game was over. But as new marketplaces rise, new technologies emerge, and AI enters the world of cybercrime, one question remains. Can the darknet ever be tamed? Or are we just seeing the beginning of a new digital underworld? One thing's for sure, this isn't over, not even close.